My girlfriend was on the phone with a friend while I sat beside her, headphones on. I wasn't supposed to hear what she said, but I caught every word. She told her friend, "He's great on paper," but then added that I make her cringe when I try to be romantic. I didn't react. I just stayed quiet, pretending to be focused on whatever I was working on. That night, quietly, I booked a one-way flight and called our landlord to have my name removed from the lease. Since then, she hasn't stopped calling. 112 messages, 69 missed calls. But the moment that changed everything had already passed. It wasn't just the words that broke something inside me. It was how natural they sounded coming from her. Like she'd said them before, like she'd been thinking them for a long time. I'm a sound engineer. I spend my days buried in audio, fixing it, cleaning it up, making it better. So when my noise-canceling headphones glitched that Tuesday afternoon while I was editing a podcast on our couch, I didn't immediately swap them out. I was curious. Maybe I could fix the problem, figure out what went wrong. Nora was sitting across the sectional, legs tucked beneath her, phone in hand, chatting with her friend Meline. This was our normal. Her on-calls, me in my own world. We were good at sharing space like that. 3 years of practice. Comfort. But suddenly, I could hear her voice, clear and direct, through the broken silence. I mean, he's stable, has a solid job, good with money. Treats me well, she said, but God, Maddie, he makes me cringe when he tries to be romantic. My hands stopped moving. My eyes stayed on the screen where the audio waves of the true crime podcast kept pulsing, but I wasn't hearing them anymore. I was stuck on her words. Like last night, he made this whole camel at dinner and wrote me this poem. She gave a soft laugh. I had to fake a work call just to get a moment to pull myself together. The dinner, the poem, our anniversary. I put so much thought into that night, trying to make her feel special, loved, and she had to compose herself. She kept talking. Don't get me wrong, I care about him. I really do. But sometimes it feels like I'm dating someone who got their ideas of romance off a WikiHow page. It's so predictable. I waited for something redemptive, some soft landing. He makes me cringe, but I love him anyway. It's formulaic, but I know he means well. It never came. Eventually, the conversation shifted. She started asking about her friend's job, but I was frozen in that moment. I should have taken off the headphones, said something, confronted her. That's what people do in movies, right? Instead, I just sat there, pretending to focus on the podcast I couldn't hear anymore. 20 minutes later, she gestured toward the kitchen, mouthing a silent offer. I smiled and nodded, just like always. That night, while she was in the shower, I sat at the edge of our bed thinking about all the small moments I brushed off. The way she gently moved my hand away when I tried to dance with her at her office party. The increase in urgent work calls during our date nights. The slight delay before she'd say, "I love you too." I blamed it on stress or promotion. The natural drift that comes with time. But now it all clicked together unmistakably. I embarrassed her. When she came out with a towel wrapped around her head, I asked casually about her call with Meline. Anything new on that promotion you were waiting for? Nora answered smoothly, like always, maybe next week. She had no idea I'd heard her, no hesitation, no shift in her face. In that moment, I saw how easy it would be to keep pretending, to stay on script, reliable Domi, who care about her a lot, but not enough to spare me the private ridicule. That night, I held her longer than usual. She noticed and asked if everything was all right. I told her I was just feeling grateful. She fell asleep quickly. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, I waited until she left for work, then packed. Not everything, just what mattered. My gear, a week's worth of clothes, documents I'd need for a fresh start. The closet looked strange, half empty, like it couldn't decide if someone had left or was coming back. I hesitated, but only briefly. I called the landlord and explained the situation. It was a simple process to remove my name. By the time she got home, I was gone. We were on a month-to-month lease now, waiting on renewal. Nora earned more than enough to cover the rent on her own, and her credit was impeccable. She wouldn't face any real hardship, just the inconvenience of my absence. I left her a letter, not a poem. I'd apparently run out of awkward, overly sentimental gestures. It was just the truth, plain and direct. Nora, I overheard your call with Melan yesterday. You said, I make you cringe when I try to be romantic. You mentioned the dinner and the poem, how you had to fake a work emergency to get out of it. I'm not angry, but I can't unhear it. I can't stay in a relationship where the way I love someone makes them uncomfortable. By the time you read this, I'll be on a plane headed to Portland. I've taken my name off the lease, but I paid my share of next month's rent to give you some time to figure things out. I hope you find someone whose way of loving feels right to you. James. I left this note on the kitchen counter beside my cup of tea. My flight wasn't until the evening, so I spent the day at a cafe near my brother's friend's apartment, where I was going to stay until I found a place of my own. I put my phone on airplane mode, because I wasn't ready for messages, the calls, or the flood of reactions. I needed space to detach, to breathe. The journey itself was a blur. Checking my bag, going through security, sitting in a cramped seat, the hum of the engines, and the low murmur of announcements. I focused on logistics, trying to push away the memories I kept trying to break through. Once I landed and settled into the small spare room, I turned my phone back on. Instantly, notifications overwhelmed me. 112 texts, 69 missed calls, voicemails, emails, and even Instagram DMs, though we hardly ever use that. I scrolled back to the start of the messages. James, what is this? Call me. Are you serious right now? You're leaving over one comment? This is so immature. I can't believe you're doing this. Please call me back. I didn't mean it like that. You're completely overreacting. It was just girl talk. As hours passed, the tone shifted. I'm worried about you. At least let me know you're okay. James, please. We can work through this. People say stupid things sometimes. I don't know why I said those things. You know how Maddie is. She brings out the worst in me. Your brother won't tell me where you are. Please just talk to me. Eventually, it became more emotional. I love you. I miss you. I'm so sorry. Please come home. The voicemails followed a similar path. Started with frustration, then pleading, and finally breaking into tears. Her voice cracked near the end, words choked by emotion. It would have been easy to feel victorious, to think I'd won some moral battle. But that's not why I left. I left because something shifted inside me the moment I heard her speak those words. In that instant, I realized we weren't meant for each other. Not because she's a bad person, because she's not, and not because I'm perfect, because I'm far from it. But some divides can't be crossed. Either someone accepts your love, or they shrink away from it. No amount of negotiation can change that. I sent her one message. I'm safe. I'm in Portland staying with friends, and I'm not coming back. Nora, I deserve someone who sees my love as genuine, not awkward. You deserve someone whose way of showing affection feels natural, not uncomfortable. I hope one day you'll understand this was the right choice for both of us. Then I muted the thread. I didn't block her. This wasn't punishment. I just needed silence, space, a fresh start. My brother helped me find a temporary job at his company. Not permanent, just enough to keep me busy while I figured things out. I found a studio apartment a few blocks from the office. It had big windows and lovely afternoon light. I bought a few plants. I'm terrible at keeping them alive, but I'm trying. I still write sometimes, not for anyone else, just for myself. My poetry is probably still clumsy and obvious, full of rhyme and raw feeling, but I've started to like the sound of it when it's just mine, when no one else's opinion weighs on it. Nora still reaches out occasionally. The messages have changed. They're not desperate anymore, more thoughtful. Last week, she said my honesty made her see how closed off she'd been, that it forced her to look at patterns in her other relationships, too. She said she's working on it. I hope she is. I really want her to be okay. But I don't regret that flight. I don't regret leaving. There's a coffee shop near my place now where the barista makes intricate designs in the foam of lattes. Last Tuesday, she made one with a treble clef on top. I'd mentioned once that I work in sound engineering. That's incredible, I said. She smiled shyly. Too much. I asked. Not at all, she said. It's perfect. I don't know if anything will come of it, and that's okay. The point isn't whether it leads anywhere. The point is I'm no longer twisting myself to fit someone else's idea of what's acceptable. I speak how I speak. I show affection how I show it. Oh, and the headphones? They weren't broken. I'd accidentally pressed the ambient sound button, which lets outside noise and while playing music. Just a small mistake, but one that changed everything. Sometimes I wonder if Nora ever noticed the irony, that I overheard her saying she was embarrassed by my affection, when all along I was just trying to be near her while giving her space. Maybe the most romantic thing I ever did happened completely by accident.